This is Randy Baxter. This is our 9 o'clock training class for taking the first steps to marketing our estate planning do-it-yourself services called Family Estate Docs. So I hope you're as ready as I am. Uh, and again, it's presented by me, Randall Baxter. I'm the president of Asset Positioning Services. I'm the author of a book called Approach, Plan, Succeed. You probably have a copy of it in ebook, but I also had hard copies. If you want to request one, I'll mail you one. But I'm also the author of Family Tree Asset Positioning, the go-to first interview. And what we're going to be talking about this morning is the marketing process to get you up to that first interview. So, but I'm also the provider of your Family Estate Doc software, and I'm the head trainer of the Family Tree Asset Positioning process, and I'm the head coach of the Cycle of Success. And I call it "Let Me Teach You to Hunt, Never Be Hungry Again." So I hope you like what you learned this morning. So anyway, my overall mission of this training is that attendees, that's you, will learn the power of identifying and approaching people who would benefit from a conversation with the attendee about that person's current estate plan. Remember, not the one that you want them to buy, but the one that they currently have. That's where the magic happens. That's where the approach becomes so easy. So anyway, so you're going to learn how to select the proper people in their lives to apply their wishes when they cannot speak for themselves. Why would you do that? Why not go out and sell an IUL? Well, you probably will. But this is the way to get in the door. This is the way to make it stress-free. And this is the way to be distinctive. And we're going to talk about all that today. So here's what I need you to learn. I need you to learn to identify the avatar. I need you to learn how to convert the avatar to a persona. And once you've done that, you now have a suspect. So, but you have to go through both those steps. And it can be instantaneous, but you may already own it. You may be able to go to your own client list. But once you have a suspect, that means nothing if you don't properly approach them so that you can help that person make the best decisions about their current plan. But even when you do that, you're also going to be opening the conversation for family dynamics, estate plan design, real estate documents, long-term care plans, income plans, health issues, and funding. And that what we all want, but what's happening is we're approaching it, each one of those items on like it's a product. And what I'm trying to show you is how to make it a process. So, you want to make a strong, quick sale. You want to add something to your product and service portfolio. I call it the front end sale. The proper identification of the suspect and the proper approach leads to a conversation that opens the door to all financial services and products. And that's where you come in at the front end. You come in the front door distinctively, professionally, without any real pressure. So what I'm trying to show you guys today is it leads to the back end sale. It leads to the funding process. It leads to real estate deed transfers. It leads to long-term care sales, income planning, health funding, asset reviews, beneficiary reviews. And again, I'm just going to say it's a process and not a product. And so many people, when I say that to them, sometimes people look at me like they're a deer standing in the road and the headlights are blinking back at you. And then other people say, yeah, I understand, but they don't implement. Then other people implement quickly and their income goes up quickly. So in order to have market impact, you need to consider that the heads of families all over the United States, all over the USA, I don't care if you're in Florida or Nevada or Texas or Minnesota or Maine or Washington or Alaska or Hawaii, it doesn't matter. The heads of all families all over the USA want someone to guide them through this process. And they don't wake up in the morning thinking that. But once they realize that you have an approach that rings the bell and they know they've been searching for that, They just don't know where to turn. And when you approach them on your own volition, it rings a bell with them and they'll make an appointment with you. You do it right. So, so all of a sudden, even if you're a professional salesperson, maybe you already have a six-figure income, you can take that six and turn it into seven, or take that one or $200,000 and turn it into $400,000, $500,000, $600,000, $700,000. I'm going to teach you how to approach people using this concept. The concept that says who you think would benefit from a conversation with you about their estate plan. I mean, that is so simple. So simple. And people ask me all day, okay, now what do I do? I say the same thing over and over and over. You, not the one they will eventually buy from you, but the one they have right now. And everybody has one right now. Everybody. So this is the starting point. This is the beginning. And there's an ad that we use if you want to use it. But anyway, when you do it, you become distinctive. And if you can look up the definition of the word distinctive, but it means separated and rising above. But you become distinctive in the marketplace because you'll open the door to a relationship with the suspect that helps your client get a win. Clients are selfish. They don't give a flip about you. What they want is what is the benefit that they're going to get when they talk to you. You will become the topic of family conversations for years to come because you will have helped your prospect client answer questions to which they have always wanted answers. Wow. So are you ready? Are you ready to become a mentor of the families you choose to help? That's what this is all about, and that's what happens. I had millionaires all the time say, Randy, what do we do? So my decision to become distinctive was one of the best of my career. A non-traditional approach made me stand out when I was compared to other financial service representatives. Somebody told me the other day, and I don't know this, they said, we are wanting to do business with you because we like the way you handled the first interviews. I stopped representing the insurance companies and started representing the client. That's the key. I'm going to repeat that. That's the key. So over time, I began to develop and improve and implement what I call the family tree asset positioning go-to first interview. The key word in this is implement. Most of the people who get slow starts or no starts that become line licensees that don't start making money are victims of their own failure to implement. So the starting point is the identification of the suspect. Who are these people? I've got people that have been talking to me about the same prospect for 6 or 7 months. You should be able to close these people in 45 minutes. If you do it right. And all you got to do is follow the script. So let's just real quick, let's look and see who these people might be. In the approach, when I wrote the book, Approach, Plan, Succeed, my approach involves a zero pressure, stress-free first interview. It's designed to guide your suspects and prospects toward the purchasing decision without any pushiness. Because, if you've done a good job with your assets, don't you think you ought to have the right paperwork? And when you do this, when you say that, it puts you in what I call the sweet spot. But also, there's a strategic initiative. If you know that being distinctive, doing things in a different way is important, that sets you apart from the product salesperson. Danged old product salespeople. So the company impact, each asset positioning services, family estate docs licensee, family tree asset positioning representative will find themselves in what I call the financial services sweet spot. And you want to be there. So here's the definition of sweet spot. That position where if a client has a relationship change, an asset change, a health change, they will contact you first because you help them set up the proper estate plan. Don't you want to be that person? Isn't that the security you want in your career? You can ask the stockbrokers that I've moved money from the past month or getting ready to move money from the past month. how they have to defend their position, and it's usually not a good position because it doesn't meet the estate plan. So the family tree asset position go-to first interview creates market differentiation, but I have to teach you how to get up to the point where you have that first interview. There's a war out there, folks, and I'm going to show you a tactical method which sets you apart by creating a perceived advantage in the eyes of your target audience. What is the devil is he talking about? Our sales model, we're going to teach you how to identify people who would benefit from a conversation with you about their current estate plan. Now, if you can identify them, you can't take that to the bank. They are just a suspect, nothing else. You just, you're looking down at the world and the earth, and you see somebody and you identify them as a suspect. That's all. That's it. So before you approach your suspect, spend some time in a personal observation of that person's life and family arrangement. Now, you may not know it, but you might have some referrals. You may be able to look at their home that they live in through Zoom or Zillow or whatever. You can do a little bit of checking around if you want to. You don't have to. They're going to be so happy to talk to you. You're not going to have to do that too much. But that sort of determines what you say in the approach. If you do it correctly, it virtually guarantees that they will want to talk to you on a favorable basis, making them a prospect. In fact, you guys that already have people that have done business with you in the past year, it's such an advantage. But those of you who don't have people who have done business with you in the past, and you have to approach people who have not done business with you in the past, why not use an approach sentence that works almost every time? If you don't use it, you're a scaredy cat. This will build the bridge of conversion of the suspect, making them a prospect. You have to, I'm going to teach you in the next hour how to do that. But first, you have to have a suspect. So when you start in your marketing prospect, that's your first goal. Someone who agrees to talk to you on a favorable basis. If you don't have a prospect, you don't have an opportunity to make any money. But some people have no idea what the definition of a prospect is. And the definition is someone who will talk to you on a favorable basis. How do you do that? You identify them as a suspect first before you approach them. So identifying the suspect is the first step. You have to understand the different avatars of marketing your product. Because an avatar is not a blue person in a movie. An avatar is not a person. It's a description of a type of person that fits a description of someone who would need your product or service, or who would benefit from a conversation with you about that product or service. Does that make sense? And people make it seem so hard. It's just not hard. So who do you identify as approachable? Well, let's talk about it. You can have single adults. They need estate plans. Newlyweds, new parents, divorced parents. You really, if you got a pencil and piece of paper, you ought to write this down. Extended heads of households, single parents, the new wealthy, people with new careers, pre-retirees, retirees, people with new health problems, people with disabled children, people with poor money handlers in the family, people with huge debt burdens, same-sex couples, May-November relationships, or May-December. Those are just a few. So let's look at a couple of them. And you should maybe start writing the names down of people that you think are good suspects. But look at your single adult friends. They could be male or female. They could be any age. They may or may not have parents or siblings. They may be a parent. They may be divorced. They may be thinking of marriage. But they need to make decisions of representation and distribution, even being single. Newlyweds, till death do they part, in sickness and in health, in good times and bad, not recognized by financial institutions when it comes to making decisions. So a 401k and IRA information decisions puts the transfer of, plus the transfer of responsibility. These are all issues that you're going to talk about with them. They're going to appreciate it. You don't have to sell them a product. They'll hand you the product. New parents, consider the risk of the newborn. Who will deal with an infant if he loses his or her parents? Who the would-be parents want to be in control? At the same time, if they've been parents for 6 months or 8 months, they probably already bought a life insurance policy. You pull it out and look at the beneficiary, bet she's set up wrong. It's got mom and dad as the primary, but it probably has the children listed as the contingent, and that's wrong. Wrong, wrong, wrong. WRONG, wrong. So how about divorced parents or people in changing relationships? They learn that the dynamics of that change are important to them, but they need to be aware of it. And you have to find out, is it amiable or is it in conflict? How about extended heads of household? I worked with a family the other day. The grandparents were taking care of their grandchildren because their children were irresponsible. Someone thrown into the responsibility of a group of children or adults. Man, those people need talk to you. They would benefit from a conversation with you about their current estate plan. Single parents. Why? Because they may be divorced, they may be widowed, they may be single by choice. Who would they depend on? Who would they choose? Your conversation with them will lead them to that realization and will make them trust you and make them open the door to all product sales. How about the new wealthy? Lottery winner or heir to an estate or somebody who sells a business or married to a sugar daddy, a kept man or a woman, it doesn't matter. They'll tell you who they are if you'll draw the family tree correctly. And all you got to do is ask them for permission to draw the family tree, and it's on the agenda. So it could be people going for a new career, a change in geography, a change in life, a rollover from 401k, a loss of life insurance. Pre-retirees, people considering the next stage of life who have never gotten around to the estate plan conversation because no one has approached them. And folks, that's the key, because no one is very good at approaching them. I am. I'll teach you how. But then there's retirees. They have time now, and if they're lucky, they still have their spouse, their assets, and their health. But even if they do not, they might have a change in health. When you learn of this, they will be receptive to your approach. I did one the other day that the client told me, "Hey, Randy, my doctor told me that I'm probably going to see New Year's Eve, but I'm probably not going to see Valentine's Day." Wow, what a statement. So he has a sense of urgency, and he was having some guilt feelings about some estranged children, and he wanted to make it right. Wife was saying, "That's something you never said to me before. Let's make it right." So when you're talking to people and all of a sudden mom and dad start talking to each other, just shut up and listen. Man, you are on the road. But some people have disabled adults as spouses. Some have disabled children. People responsible for the disabled will want to review their current estate plan, and I misspelled estate there. I'm sorry. I'm real good at misspelling things. But anyway, some people are just poor money handlers, spendthrifts. Estates and individuals need to be protected from bad decisions made by people who do not handle money well. Sometimes they need to be protected from themselves. I had a husband tell me the other day that his wife was an Amazonaholic. She just looked at me and smiled. How about people with debt burdens? Potential heirs carrying a debt burden can be protected, maybe with a life insurance policy, or maybe knowing that the estate plans that we sell or credit are protected. And if you want to know what that means, get in touch with me. I'll talk to you about it. And then there's same-sex couples. Sometimes there will be family issues if those family members do not agree to the relationship. These couples need to take control. Sometimes mom and dad don't like the deal. And sometimes if that partner's in the hospital, there might be conflict with the family if they don't have the right paperwork. Fix it. So May, November relationships, it happens all the time. Children older than their step parent could have issues that cause problems in relationships. So if you're 65 and you marry a 30-year-old girl or boy, and your children are older than that spouse, there could be some issues. A lot of issues. So anyway, there are unlimited situations in environment that can be solved with a conversation when one of the participants might benefit from a conversation with you about their current estate plan. They're just waiting on you to ask. And I hope even talking about this makes you excited enough to think, man, I need to get out there and ask people. And remember, it's not the one you want them to buy. You're going to get to that. And if you do the presentation correctly, they will see that maybe their plan is not the one that they want, or that they need to do a restatement or change some of the provisions in the plan they have. I'm doing one today, like this afternoon. It's a wealthy retired couple in first marriage with no children, 20-something beneficiaries on dad's side and 4 on mom's side. And they just wanted to clarify it because the people that have helped them didn't help them very well. So anyway, if they'll review the one they currently have, that's the house they have right now. And the question is, in your conversation, are you all going to come to the conclusion of, is it appropriate? Okay, so this is the conversation that leads to the front end sale. Folks, make 2 or 3 front end sales a month, and you're going to be making $250,000 a year if you get up and comb your hair and brush your teeth and take a shower and follow the agenda. So you can offer them a new improved estate plan or a restatement of an existing plan. Well, Randy, we have a will, but we decided it's not the appropriate plan. I hear that all the time, but it's because I give them information. So then I'll do the front end sale. If you don't understand the difference between a restatement and an amendment, send me an email and tell me they'd like to spend some time going over that. Either I'll do it or Wynn will do it. But do your front end sale. So, the family tree asset position you go to first interview will help the prospect determine the need for a will, a trust, or the government plan called probate. No matter what season of life they're in. So, if you do that, it leads to the required analysis for proper funding of that plan, and in most cases leads to the repositioning of assets to properly fund the new plan. This is what I call the back end sale. I had to fight off 2 stockbrokers last week. Both of them, their solution was not the solution that the people wanted. It was the solution the stockbroker wanted. So let's review again. In order to get to the back end sale, you first must identify the avatar and then place a name on the avatar, and that gives it a persona. It's a name on a list of people to approach. That's all it is. And that's where most people fail to implement, or they're not very good at, or they don't think they're very good at it because they don't try hard enough. They don't push themselves. So what I'm trying to teach you for the best business achievement for income in the financial services is to have one approach, one go-to first interview, one funding process, and then seek advocation, then repeat. I call it the cycle of success. And I've told you over and over, if you just put 10 on your suspect list and follow it through, and every time you move one forward or lose one, put a new one on your suspect list, you're going to prosper. Your reputation is going to grow, and you're going to be distinctive. So a typical week, attend the appropriate weekly training workshop for your level production. Develop and work your suspect list. Schedule your first interviews. Talk with your mentor weekly, if that's me or whoever you choose, and use the go-to first interview. It's the folks that don't do that call me stressed out and angry or upset, and then I go in and I go find out, hey, let's go look at the basics. All right, let's see what step you're skipping. So the role of the first interview presenter is to establish the first step in the long-term relationship. to set up the back end sale. The sacrifice is there are essential factors for achieving success. If you can't do those things, you're not the right person for this opportunity. You have to unlock success at Asset Positioning Services by following what we teach. We don't know how to do it any other way because our way works. Huh. So, what are the qualifications? If you're listening, listen hard. You must be able to do the work. Not the he work, but the work. You must want to do the work. And you must be willing to invest the time. You know, even the people that I depend on the most sometimes are not following the program. I go in and say, well, you sold 4 cases 3 or 4 months ago, but nothing else. Why? And the answer is I've been too busy to implement. And my real heartfelt statement is you have to implement, you have to want to do the work, and you have to invest the time. So then, so the first step of the cycle of success, and you can watch my video on it, randallbaxter.com about the cycle of success. If you make the commitment to identify people who you think would benefit from a conversation with you about their current estate plan. To unlock success in this program, we recommend that you emulate what we do without innovating. In 30 to 60 days, we'll teach you what you need to know. You begin implementing at your own pace. I don't like to push or pull. If I have to push or pull, that's not fun for me. You design your experience. We will mentor your growth. But you know what? You've got to be trainable and coachable. I run into lots of people that are trainable, and then as soon as they go to implement, they're not coachable. And sometimes people say, coach me, coach me, coach me, when they won't learn the vocabulary. They won't learn the basics. They're not trainable. So I need people who are trainable and coachable. You control your growth and your path. You do that, not me. You concentrate on training. You do that, not me. I'm trained. I trained me already. You need to follow our coaching. I follow my coaching. And you need to upgrade when you're ready. When I say upgrade, you mean to, change your lifestyle, change your implementation process. You're going to get your own website if you're a licensee. You're going to own your client privacy. Earnings up front should be $1,200 when you use the $19.95 manufacturer suggested retail price. And you know what? That's not overcharging. A lot of you are undercharging. You're costing yourself money. People are willing to pay $19.95 because about 75 to 80% of the trusts that go through are at $19.95. I did one the other day at $6.95. It's because I'm working on $1 million case, and one of the people really needed help, so I stepped in and helped them at a lower price, but it kind of bound them to me. So what are the next steps for you? You need to talk to your mentor. And if you have a upline, a master licensee, I hope you master licensees are doing your job, because if you bring somebody on, you owe it to them to coach them through it. You owe it to them to help them through their training. And I have some master licensees who don't do that. It's a shame. I wind up having to train and everything. I will tell you that in 2025, our master licensee program will be so much different. It will be earned. It will be developed instead of just handed out by friendship. If you are a licensee, your mentor will be the person who brought you to the table. Establish your first 10 suspects of people you think would benefit from a conversation with you about their current estate plan. If you don't do that, you're wasting your time and your money. Those suspects will learn something they were not aware of. They will act on their new awareness. They will do this by making a front-end purchase. That's why I call it the front-end sale. Are you stuck with no progress? I talk to lots of agents and licensees every day that have been around for a month or 2 months and have no progress. I see and hear the issues they face or say they are facing. And in many cases, I hear good reasons and not real reasons. In most cases, lack of progress is found in poor implementation of the approach. It's just that easy. That easy to see, It's that easy to solve. So anyway, we'll stop right there. I'd like to ask you folks that are attending right now, are there any questions? Lisa, do you see any questions so far?
No questions in the chat yet, Randall.
Okay, so just think about it for a minute, and I'm not going to put you on the spot and ask you why you are where you are. I hope you're here because you're brand new. If you've been with us a while and you're attending this for the first time, welcome. And if you want to change your income, I think my income 2 weeks ago was about $25,000, and that didn't come in the checks. It was just in written business that's coming in the month of November. But see, I work on November, December. My income in October is already set.
Hey,
So yes, go ahead.
hey, Randall. Hey, this is Victor.
Yes, sir.
I have a question. I don't know if it's pertinent to where we're at right now, but we have permission by 2 churches. We're with our prospects. We're setting up some meetings at a church in Florida in advance, and also the one here in Crossville. And the paraphernalia that you used whenever we did the will and the versus the trust meeting over in Knoxville, whenever we came over, that paraphernalia can we get that from you to bring to the meeting and copy?
Yes, and you can also modify it to because you can't tell my story. You need to tell your story.
Correct. Okay, so
Okay.
we want to do the same setup you did, and with we're getting the round to it's and everything. So
Great. It works.
so okay, can if we made appointment to come over and meet with you, kind of to gather your paraphernalia,
Absolutely.
would that be all right?
Yes, please do. I'd love to do that. And Wynn will help, and Kelsey will help, and Lisa will help, and we'll make sure that you get what you need. I'll be honest with you. I had the best team I have ever had in Lisa and Wynn and Kelsey, and I'm so happy with it. So you need to use us, and I made some changes in the office, but we are at this point. Our office is set up to be the ideal family estate docs office. And you should come in and look and see what we're doing and how we're working. And also, those of you who have time, tomorrow at 3 o'clock, I'm going to be teaching the use of the software. And then Thursday morning, Frank Divers from Phoenix is flying in Wednesday night, making me buy him dinner so he can put on a 3-hour boot camp to talk about what other licensees across the nation are doing. That's going to be Thursday morning. You'll be getting an invitation to it. So we're doing everything we can to show you. The only thing we can't do is get you to properly implement. And that's just something you have to take control of. And like I said, you have to be able to take control, and you have to want to take control, and you have to be willing to spend the time to get control. So yes, Victor, yes to everything you just asked.
Okay, sounds good. I'll be getting with you. I'd hope to come over this week, maybe tomorrow or the next day, if that's possible.
Well, I know I'm going to be here Thursday morning. Wednesday's looking rough. My Tuesday's filling up. I've got a little bit of time between 12 and 1, but you guys need to know I stay, because I follow what I teach, I stay about 10 days ahead of myself.
Understood.
So and I want to teach you to do the same thing, but I will tell you I can be I wish you could, if you want to come to the boot camp Thursday morning, we can take care of everything and you'll get to meet some of my mentors.
Awesome.
I know if you're busy, that's okay, but I'd love to have you in Thursday morning just to do that. I know some of you folks that are in Florida can't come, or in Nevada can't come, but we're going to Zoom that call, and it's going to be like a Face the Nation. It's going to be Frank and me, and we're going to take questions, and we're going to tell you some of the questions that we've got coming in, and I think it's going to be fun, because
Be there
you'll
in
learn.
person on Thursday. Just be at the office Thursday.
Frank will be in person Thursday morning, but he'll also be on the Zoom call. But I think you need to meet Frank Divers.
I'll be there. What time Thursday morning?
It starts at 9, so you got to come back between 8:30 and 9. That's Eastern Standard Time.
I'll be there.
Over the border.
Okay.
But anybody that wants to come can attend. And Frank took me from a neophyte to where I am today. I'm not going to say I'm much above a neophyte now when compared to some of these other people, but we're going to talk about issues and problems that licensees have, and solutions that other licensees have offered and shown us what works. And I think it'll be valuable to everybody. Are there any other questions?
Nothing in the chat.
Okay, so that's all I got to say this morning. Um, um, I just hope that those of you who really want to follow, pretend like we're in a big snowstorm and you see somebody who's got snowshoes and has already cut a path for you, so it's easier to go through the mess, and you will become distinctive too. And I promise you, when you become distinctive, you'll be as busy as a bee. You'll be as busy as I am, and you won't be looking day to day. You'll be looking from week to week on how to find time to get more things done. And that's what's going on in my life. Uh, the harder I spend the more time I spend suspecting and approaching people, the busier I get. So sometimes I have to slow it down, or sometimes I have to hand the ball off to other people. So anyway, that's what I'm going to be teaching. That's what I'm going to be doing. If you'll come back in at 10 o'clock, we're going to be talking about building the bridge from suspects to prospects. But right now, I need to go make another cup of coffee, and I'll take questions if we have any. One more opportunity. So here's my question for you. Are you ready to start building the bridge of conversion of your suspects to prospects? If that's who you are and that's where you are, you can either attend next Monday at 10 o'clock, or you can attend this Monday at 9 o'clock. Lisa, you can send them the link, and I think you've already sent them the link.
Yes, Randall,
Uh,
it's the same link all morning.
Okay. Next hour, I'll be reviewing how to prepare the conversation of the suspect to prospect. Without good approaching, learning this next step would be of little value. So I appreciate your time this morning, and you've already made a pretty big step. And again, you need to decide, are you going to take weekly steps or daily steps or hourly steps? And if you want to take hourly step, be here at 10 o'clock. That's in about, 20 minutes, 25 minutes, 20 minutes, 22 minutes. So hope to see you there. I'm going to sign off, and I'll be back at 10 o'clock.